Hello guys, thank you for joining. Just gonna wait for a couple more people to join and then we will begin. If you have any questions meanwhile, please feel free to write some messages in the chat box. Yeah, so we got a few more people joining. Okay, so we will start in about 3 minutes. Okay, we have more people joining. Okay, so I think we will begin now. So, let's close this. Right, okay, so thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today's seminar on our brand new GCSE Science crash course, which will be held by KSG Learning. So, to start off, I will begin by introducing myself. So, my name is Mr. Adam. I am the head science tutor at KSG Learning. I am currently pursuing medicine and I specialize in teaching the sciences. Now, just to briefly outline some challenges in revision in general, one being the vast amount of information on the internet. So with 3 separate science subjects and extensive syllabus, covering everything effectively can be overwhelming. There is also the presence of exam pressure. So the high stakes nature of the GCSEs can lead to significant stress and anxiety in students, inevitably affecting their performance. Another one which is often not looked at or not properly dealt with during revision is time constraints. So the GCSE exam, especially with sciences, is a highly time constrained exam, meaning that most students don't even finish the exam on time. So making sure that you answer every question effectively is extremely important. Now, lastly, one that I personally can relate to when I did my GCSEs in year 11 is motivation and focus. with studying 10 to 11 subjects, it's completely understandable that maintaining focus and motivation over a long period of time is challenging, which is completely understandable. Now, if your GCSEs were not daunting enough, you have approximately 126 days left until your first exam. This seems like a lot of time, but believe me, from my experience, this is not. However, don't fret, as the course we have specifically designed is for you and has been assembled for students like myself when I was in year 11, who needed a quick run through the curriculum for biology, chemistry and physics, and helping reinforce the knowledge that I already had. We will also be providing an AQA and an Excel exam timetable after this session as well. So it has taken approximately 6 months worth of work with the blood, sweat and tears of me and my colleagues to design this course especially for you. As mentioned before, this will be starting on the 13th of January on a Saturday. Now, what will you receive in the starter pack? There will be 4 main things. So one being the specification, which I will be showing you now. So in my opinion, I believe the specification is probably the most underrated revision tool that a lot of students don't use. And actually what I've noticed is one thing that separates a grade 9 student compared to a grade 6 student is their ability to understand the specification. So what I will be showing you now is the biology specification paper. There we go. So, okay. So we will be providing the specification for all 3 sciences. This is specifically the AQA one. Now, my piece of advice is, when revising, use the specification almost as a checklist. So making sure that you have extensively researched and learn everything within the topic. Okay, and the reason being is examiners actually use the specification to actually mark your paper. So essentially, the specification is almost like a mark scheme. So if you can really understand what the examiner is asking from you from the question, you will do very well. Okay, so this is about 14 pages. We will provide one for all 3 sciences, including AQA and Edexcel. Okay, don't worry. So we have just started. So we're just going through the specification. Now, we will also be providing the presentations for all three subjects, so biology, chemistry, and physics. Now, within these presentations, we will be providing the entire curriculum, the whole syllabus, which we will be covering first in class. You will be sent the recording after the session, including the PowerPoints, which include questions and answers, so that the students can practice and go through and check their own their marks, basically. Okay, so what I will be showing you now is one that I have made myself. So this is chemistry. I will be personally teaching chemistry myself. So what I'm showing you now is the quantitative chemistry presentation. So these will be interactive. Okay, so you can see there's lots of questions and it goes into a lot of depth. So this one here is about 90 slides long, and like I mentioned before, we will be providing this for every single subject and specific topic covering in class. Okay. So I'm just going to give you a small peek of one of the topics. So we have made sure to go through the entire syllabus and curriculum thoroughly to make sure that we include everything, so your child does not miss anything in their exam. Yeah, so as you can see, we provide the answers and the questions. Okay. Now, the third thing we'll be providing is past papers. Okay, so these are extremely important, and I'm sure your teachers have stressed this enough. To get a good grade, it is essential that you practice as many questions as possible. Reason being is because not necessarily what you will learn in class will come up the same way that you have been taught. So you have to be able to apply the knowledge that you've learnt to exam questions, which is often difficult. So I'm going to be now showing you a marked exemplar past paper. So this one here is specifically for biology. So let's just make sure. Okay, so just going through this quickly. There we go. This is it. Okay. So as you can see, this is for biology. So we have personally answered these questions using the curriculum to make sure that the student knows what the examiner is asking for and how to achieve the full possible marks. So just going through it. So as you can see, we don't just write simple answers, we actually go in depth and we explain the reasoning for, or the multiple ways of answering the question as well. Okay, so we include 6 markers as well, tables, and math calculations as well. Right. And the last thing we'll be providing is a revision planner. So again, what separates a grade 9 student and a grade 6 student, for example, is their ability to revise effectively. So with this revision planner, we have specifically designed this for a 30-day period where we hint what topics the student should cover. We've even added additional 3 days just in case you want to go back through some topics or do some questions. So we will be providing this for everyone. And with this will be sent as a Google Doc document, so you can actually edit on this and basically create your own revision notes for that day. Okay. Right, moving on. So some things to highlight about the course. So we will be specifically tailoring our practice and our questions for AQA and Edexcel exam boards. However, this will be useful for all exam boards, including IGCSE and etc. There will be detailed planning, which I will be showing you on the next couple of slides, showing you the outline of the course and what we will be teaching. There will also be Q&A reinforcement. So again, we would be providing booklets for every student to solidify their understanding. And there will also be active Q&A sessions during the session where the students can type in questions and someone, either me or one of my colleagues, will try and answer and help the student. So another thing we will be providing is, which I mentioned before, was how to revise. So effective revision and studying planning, and the time management mastery. So there are many different ways to study. We will be providing a video actually that shows the different ways of studying. Me personally, when I was in year 11, I found active recalling specifically useful. So this involves reading a piece of information, and then once I feel confident, I will close my book and I will write everything on a blank piece of paper, almost as if I'm teaching myself. And I will repeat this process until the information is solidified into my head. And another thing I will recommend is, please do not just memorize through repetition. This is the worst way to revise. Remember through understanding. So understanding what you are learning is much more important than just repeating something in your head and then forgetting it later on. So this is the course timetable. We will be starting on the 13th and 14th of January with biology, as you can see here. The sessions will be split into two, so morning sessions and evening sessions. It is effectively like a school day. We will be including breaks in between. So for example, biology, we will be starting on the 13th with cell biology. We will then be doing focused exam prep, which is specific for the topic that we have just covered. There will then also be an evening session on the same day for another two topics, and this will repeat on the Sunday as well. And this will run for 3 weekends, and essentially we plan to cover all three, chemistry, physics and biology, in those 3 weekends. Now, the price of the course. So if you opt for the individual subjects, so if you just want to do biology or just chemistry or just physics, the whole package will cost £220. Or what I would recommend is personally going for the whole course, which is £495, and this will include all 3 subjects and everything that I mentioned before. Now, for everyone in the seminar, on live today, you will receive a special offer of 15% of the whole course if you join within the next 24 hours. Okay? So if you join within the next 24 hours, you will receive a 15% off of the entire course. And we have been open for a while, and we have lots of testimonials from different students. So for example, we have a student here which I personally taught a year ago. She passed her GCSEs and she got the target grades that she wanted. And if you go on our websites, there are plenty more reviews that you can see for yourself. So if you have any questions, this is our contact information. You can go on our website and contact us on www.ksglearning.com, or if you'd like to email us, info@ksglearning.com. We also have our phone number, which is also on our website, and we also have a center in Hounslow. So if you live around the area, you can just pop in, and we can even provide a small demo session just to assess your child. Okay, so that is everything for today. So thank you for joining. Please, if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask away.